Welcome to the PAC Show, the show that brings you all the highlights, the lowlights, the reviews, the previews, the news, and the interviews from rugby here in Australia and around the world.
We lost every game.
Always need to be heard, these bastards.
What? Puncho! What is happening? Samu Kremi! Samu, how you doing, brother? What is happening?
In the car.
Yes, the boys. Thank you, everyone.
With the best of friends.
Hilarious.
Yeah, one I won't remember. I will remember.
Yeah, we got him!
Can't be good at it. That's the one thing I'll leave you with.
Hello and welcome to the PAC Show Live. Here today we have our starters. Aiden Toa joined by the great man, Mr. Sexual Chocolate himself, Joey Lala.
What's up, fam? What's up?
And on the battlers bench, as always, we have the kill switch, Ryan Freeney, joined by his great mate, Darcy Big Man Bowden.
Big man. All right. No longer fat.
Before we start, I just want to give, I guess, an appreciation for someone who's doing his last live show with us.
Jay Ball?
Aidan
Jay
Ball.
Oh.
Aiden's last show before he heads back to PNG, so just give him a round of applause and a thank you. Obviously, also on top of that, he is now a proud father for the fourth time.
Yes, thank
young
you, Dale.
Hallie.
Yep, young Hallie, mate, 2 weeks overdue, but decided to join us on Monday.
Yeah, good.
Beck and Mum back at home now, doing well. But yeah, fourth one, and yeah, I'll go make sure that that's the last one.
Absolutely.
Wait,
I'm going to put a stop to this.
How you going to do that? How you going to do that?
I'll get creative, mate.
She's getting the tubes tied. Awesome.
Wow.
But it's beautiful, mate. The Matilda, Layla, and Sunny are just obsessed with her, which has been nice. So yeah, she's been a welcome addition to the family.
That's amazing. Well done. And friends, what a week in rugby.
How good was it?
It's exciting. Plenty going on.
Plenty going on, mate.
Joseph Suali'i.
Yes.
Joining Rugby Australia from 2025 for the next 3 years.
How good?
It's big.
How good's the fees going to go up, boys?
That's
For the
it.
playing this year?
But
Still going up to 700.
we've got from this week, a bit of a media circus happening all across the country. Obviously, it's going back and forth between rugby league and rugby union. Zaki, can you give us an insight into that as we take a look back after or over the last week and everything that's kind of happened?
What's our thoughts on this?
It's a dead sport. Rugby's it's withering. And look, this is a grab not for a player, it's a grab for a profile.
Withering.
They have splashed $5 million on one player when grassroots and pathways rugby union is an absolute mess, has been for a long time, and it's why Joseph Suali'i, he came across to rugby league. It's why all those good kids out of the private school system have come to the NRL.
He has dead set. Look, all power to you. Go and get money. We all want to get a pay rise.
Okay, leave it at that.
Particularly if you're doing a little bit better than we're doing. But he's just... I think he'll come back to rugby league and he's just going to become one of those mercenaries. He'll just go to the highest bidder wherever he ends up. If you're really going to fight back and try and be an international presence, they're going about it backwards, if you ask me. You don't start at wings and then work your way forward. Like, it's a publicity grab. It's just, if they're serious about rebuilding rugby, it doesn't start with buying high-profile wingers who are currently 19 years old. That just does not...
Desperate, Kenny, though. They're desperate.
He's earned a lot of money. Good luck to him. But I just don't think the rugby experiment... You look at Israel Folau. Israel Folau went to rugby and basically...
Killed it.
All right.
Nailed it.
Ever since he came to rugby league, that eventually the day would come where rugby league wouldn't hold him. The game wouldn't be big enough for him or the pay packet that he could command if he went to other sports, and particularly with the rugby on the international stage. For me, he's gone. He's gone to rugby. He's made his decision. I'm happy for him to go now. Every time he scores a try, I don't think he does in our game, people are going to refer to the fact that he's going to rugby. Why do we need that?
So you're saying he should go now?
Go now. You made your decision. Go now.
The game should get rid of him now.
Yeah, go now.
Really?
Go now.
I don't know how Nick would feel about
Don't let the door hit you on the arse on the way out. See you later. Gone.
That's harsh.
I hope they're listening.
But that's his made
After he
his decision.
interviewed Eddie
He's made his
Jones
decision.
2 weeks
He's still
ago.
in his NRL contract to play. You can't just tear up a contract and get rid of him.
All right, well, I'm just saying.
There you go. That's what Gus wants.
He signed a contract for rugby 18 months before his rugby league contract ends. You can't sign with any other rugby league club in that time. He can only sign with rugby. He's made his decision. I've got nothing against the kid. I've loved having him. He's a tremendous athlete. Great for the game. But he's decided to be a rugby player. bye-bye.
So if it was at your club,
Off you go.
you'd move him out the door. You'd say, just go.
I wouldn't do anything to hold him, no.
Yeah, like Peter Volandy said, go over, get that easy money, and then come back to the real sport. 1.6 million could have been spent better on the grassroots of rugby. A $1.6 million winger from the Roosters isn't going to help you beat the All Blacks.
So, pretty exciting stuff. Obviously, there's both sides there, but you can see rugby league's very bitter about the whole process.
Like
You know
they've
what I mean?
never
Like
taken
especially
a
Phil
player.
Gould, and as you touched on, you know what I mean? He's been around forever for Eanes, but you know, a couple of weeks ago he's there interviewing Eddie Jones and, you know, talking about he doesn't even watch rugby, which I'm sure he does. But Dos, what's your take on it?
I don't, like, obviously some of the things that they said I agree with a little bit in terms of paying overs for someone, you know, especially an outside back who, you know, you could argue both points, but aren't that influential in games. But, you know, you got to look at the bigger picture of things. Obviously, we've hit a nerve with them. Everyone's talking about rugby now, and they talk about building rugby from the grassroots. Yeah, this 1.6 mil could have been spent in better areas, but I think bringing a kid like Joseph Swiley, back to our game, and firstly, he played rugby all throughout school, so it's not like he's
1 year ago.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, bringing him back to the game, you just think the amount of juniors that he will bring to the game, and people will start playing rugby because he's got that aura about him already. As a young 19-year-old, he seems like a good kid. Yes, it's a unbelievable amount of money for a 19-year-old, and, you know, handling the pressures of those expectations and stuff is a different conversation for a young kid. And, you know, with someone like DC in charge, he's going to have a good support network around him, which will be importantly crucial. But I think he'll put bums on seats. He'll get people tuned into our game. I mean, you can already see it now, the start of the 2025 season, before he's even played a game, how much rugby is going to be talked about. And then not to mention the Lions series, the World Cup in 2027. 3-year deal's good. I would have liked it maybe 1 or 2 more just to, you know, solidify his commitment to the game. But yeah, man, I'm excited.
What about one of the best comments I saw is underneath I think it was the Phil Gould video, and it's just like he's banging on about how he doesn't watch rugby and stuff, but the scouts are there at every GPS rugby game every weekend.
Wayne
literally
Bennett rocked up in a van, a Dolphins van at Nudgee. He was like, "Get in, get in."
He was literally in Tarago, and then Sully, so in the van, please.
Here you go.
No, but it's just interesting. There's whinging about it, and Paul Kent talking about having a whinge is like me having a whinge about anything. Like no one
having to do something for the PAC Rugby show, right? It's just.
And I think, you know, you talk about building the game at grassroots, but in order for rugby to get, you know, to be really competitive, and, you know, it's no hiding the fact that NRL and AFL cricket, they're probably ahead of rugby in terms of, you know, viewership and money and all of that sort of stuff. But you got to invest in both ends. Yes, you want the grassroots to be flourishing, but you got to have the heroes that these kids want to be. Yeah. And I think he's the start. He can be one of them. And hopefully his decision to come, I hope he has a great experience. He obviously flourishes, and then other kids sort of see the impact that he's had, and he's like, all right, you know, maybe this is something that we can do. And then, you know, bigger names start to come to the game, and then, you know, there's effect at both ends.
Yeah, and I think that it's two-pronged there. I think you've got that aspect where you've got names that are going to come to the game, but then you've also got to have success. And so Eddie Jones touched on this during the week, and it's about, you know, you can go to a test match and you can play amazing running rugby and lose by 40, or you can go and play a certain style of rugby and go and win by 1 point. Everyone's going to want you to win by 1 point, right? Everyone's going to win. So we've got to start winning to have that grassroots to start to grow. You know, they talk about investing in grassroots, but you can invest as much as you want. Yeah. But you've got to have success.
Yeah, exactly.
So you've got to have that filtering at the top. But Joey, I want to get your opinion. Obviously, if this is on the other foot, do you know what I mean? From a rugby league perspective, obviously there's a fair bit of bitterness there. Or if he goes to another rugby league team, because they're talking about us being mercenaries, it's almost the biggest mercenary sport out there because it's happening all the time. Like for Fafita, a couple of years ago, same thing. You've had experience in both codes. Like, what's your take?
See, I think one of the biggest things that when we look at it from this perspective, and in terms of like some of the leagueies, what they're seeing is they've obviously poached Suoliti to come over, but what they're looking at is this guy going to be just a short-term fix? I mean, it's not really going to necessarily plug the hole in what we'll say, some people say that rugby union is a sinking ship. And so what they're trying to do is they're going to say, is this going to be a short-term fix that's going to put bums on seats, that's going to get people to come to games, that's going to create so much hype? But then you think about it, after he finishes his contract, what's he going to do next? And so have we necessarily fixed the problem in regards to, we talk about growing the grassroots and making sure that the foundation is strong, because when the foundation is strong, then you can build a house and build everything on top of it in terms of sports excellencies, et cetera, and professional players. So I hear what they're saying when they're saying, with these professional players only coming over for a short stint, make their money and then go. And they're saying it's great for them. But in terms of what Cheese was saying in regards to, him coming over and fixing the sport, I don't think that, having someone come over for a short amount of time will necessarily fix the sport.
Agreed.
I reckon it's just good that they're talking about unions. Keep it going, keep winning.
Yeah,
it's going to bring up more hype. Everyone's going to be watching now, hoping he fails. Keep watching. It's good.
It's cracker banter. I love seeing the banter between both codes. And it's like, sometimes we can say, man, they're getting pretty butthurt about what we're saying, but sometimes we're just spitting straight facts, what's going on.
And the publicity that it's gained has been great. But, you got to think about the person in these instances.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's a young dude, man. Yeah. He's 19. And, I just hope Rugby Australia, the Waratahs, he drops a ball, it's going to be magnified. He's going to have, the keyboard warriors, all the league fans. Mate, everyone's going to be after him. And it's hard for a young kid to, to deal with all of that stuff. So, as I sort of alluded to before, I think DC's the right guy to look after him.
Yeah.
I think rugby, we've gone all in obviously with the money, and then now we've got to, shelter him to some extent. Not hide him, because you want him to be the face of the game.
Yeah.
$1.6 million comes with the territory. But yeah, I hope they look after him, and I hope after his 3 years, and the other thing is, it's he's got 1.6 a year for the next 3. Well, reportedly, it's can he go much higher? Yeah. He's not going back to league, because they're not going to give him that sort of money.
Yeah.
And so it's he's got to actually perform now to warrant him earning that same for the next contract.
Yeah.
Overseas, he can probably earn good money as well, but you don't want him going overseas at 22, 23 years old.
Oh, no.
So in that regard, the ball's in his court, and it's show us, why we're paying you this money. But yeah, I hope on that personal level, he really gets some care, support around him.
Which I'm sure he will.
It wasn't long ago where we were having the same. We were bitter and whinging about it. It was a year and a half ago, 2 years, when he got poached from the Union 2 league. Yeah. It's so hopefully he lets the footy do the talking, play well, and then everyone forget about it and love him.
I reckon the timing of this is pretty good. 6 months out from a World Cup, leading into the next World Cup being in Australia. I just think that a lot of NRL players watching going, could get me some of that playing for the Wallabies. But then if Suoli does, could you imagine earning 1.6 mil and having to come back to rugby league, getting hammered for 800 grand less,
fall asleep on the wing
a year ago? You're I'll just sit back on the wing for the Wallabies.
And you can't help but think how much influence Eddie Jones has had in this,
all of
decision. Yeah.
He's the best, mate.
The timing, him coming, Suili coming off contract, in a couple of years, but having that conversation with him, he sees the bigger picture, right?
Yeah.
He sees Australian rugby as a whole, not just, you speak about on-field performance. Yes, that's 70-80% to do with it, but he looks at it as a brand, as a product, and he just thinks Joseph's the right guy. He fits the mold. He's going to get people talking about the game. And then hopefully results can fall off the back of it.
I think what Eddie brings is also the confidence in the AAU to go, sure, we'll pay 1.6. You know what I mean? You imagine Dave Rennie trying to go, is this bloke in league? Who? No, checkbook's out. But Eddie Jones gets it done.
Mate, that's exactly right.
It's exciting. It's exciting for the game. What is also extremely exciting is we have our first Wallaby Squad of the year. But do we have something else to ask?
I know.
No?
No, not yet.
You're the host, mate. You're the host.
Do you?
Wallaby Squad. It's exciting. So 33 to 35 men will be selected on the weekend, Sunday, 11 a.m. I want to get your thoughts. There's going to be some bolters. There's going to be a few people left out. It's a pretty small squad, right? This time of year, normally they're 40, 45. Obviously, Eddie's coming in. He knows who he wants. Freens, who's missing out?
Who's missing out? Oh, God. James O'Connor.
Apart from Ryan Freeney. James O'Connor.
I reckon he's gone.
Yeah.
And that's not because I don't think he's good enough. I just think we've got guys that are stepping up at the moment where you just cannot. You know, when you're thinking World Cup, you're thinking future. You've got guys like Quaid and stuff who could come back. I'm not sure if they are.
Yeah.
But who are in the mix. But I just think maybe a James O'Connor sort of type player will unfortunately miss out.
Yeah, this 33-man squad.
No overseas players.
35, no overseas players.
No overseas players.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And there'll be a limited amount of injured players available.
Okay.
So, like, you'd think someone like Neller would go in, Matt Phillip and those type of guys, maybe not. Just depends.
But, I'm going to stick by that because, Liner has been playing, starting over him at the moment, but I reckon... I mean,
and to your point, like, he's probably not going to bring someone in who he's not going to take to the World Cup.
Yeah.
So if say, for example, in the 5/8 position, if Quaid's going to be a part of it, which I think everyone knows that he will be, well, we think that he will be, it is maybe you're giving a younger 10 like a Liner or Tane Edmed or whoever it is the opportunity to be in a Wallaby squad.
Yeah,
and there's
guys at the moment just stepping up, like Carter Gordon, guys like that.
I mean, he was not. He's for me, he was in there, which is why I didn't mention him with Tane Edmed.
Yeah,
because I think he's in. In my opinion, he's so good.
With the World Cup squad, does the Giddo law not count? Is it open slather? All international playing?
No, not all international. There's I think it's 5 picks.
Okay.
3 to 5 picks from overseas.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so they can't pick everyone.
He's just been doing the rounds, like just coming back from it now.
Sign a quick 2-week trading contract for the Waratahs for the World Cup.
Well, it's happened before, right?
It has happened before, yeah.
What about you?
I reckon only through lack of playing time at the moment, maybe Isaac Rodder. Yeah. I just think we've got a lot of younger blokes, and he's just been lumbering around a bit. He's a big body though.
Is he back playing?
No. He's back for a little bit.
He played that trial game at West, and then I just don't know if he might be a bit underdone.
Yeah, there's probably better options.
See, I don't really know who's going to really miss out, but one of my bolters that I was going to say, and you mentioned it earlier, was probably definitely Carter Gordon.
Yeah,
I reckon that he's definitely earned himself. I reckon maybe a call up, or his name to be thrown in the ring.
He's going.
Yeah. Well, I hope he is definitely going because, just the way that he controlled the ball around the park and controlled his pack around, as well as his kicking game's just been phenomenal over the past couple of years, and you've been able to see it improve. Just even in this year, like just in the last couple of games, just his short kicking game and his long kicking game's been on, as well as his goal kicking as well. So
he has, and I think the biggest asset he has as a fly half. Obviously, he's got that whole skill set. But Darcy and I talk about this. It's his toughness. Right?
He's he's a mongrel.
Defensively, he's outstanding, but he's a mongrel, right? He gets up in their face. We saw it a couple of weeks ago when I was up against Artie, right? Went toe to toe.
Should not be there.
He's the last man. But he's fearless.
Man, he is, and super competitive.
Yeah,
and he's got that about him. I spoke about it. I think a few weeks ago on the show. It's like when you see a young 10 play, all you want to see is that little something that you're like, all right, we're going to persist with him.
Yes.
Carter shows he shows way more than a little something, but it's that, I guess, that grit and that toughness and that fearlessness, I think that sets him apart, as well as, God, his skill set is just unbelievable. And I think he's like a scratch golfer or something as well.
Yeah, very talented.
He's freak. Why wouldn't he be?
Yeah.
He's
and a filthy moulet as well.
It was interesting on the Eddie Jones podcast. Pembroke asked him that question, and Eddie deflected very well. So I was like, "Ooh, something's on there."
Question about Carter?
Yeah, he's saying, Carter Gordon, he's been playing well. What are your thoughts, Eddie? And he goes, he's got a good mallet. And then just changed the subject, and I was like, he's keeping
and he's made things like really interesting because prior to him having the 3 weeks that he's had, it was Ben Donaldson, Tane Edmed. I mean, we were all over Tommy Liner, who had a brilliant start to the season as well. And it's so good for Australian rugby, right? Yeah. And then you got Rabs. He came on that second half of the Brumbies and played exceptionally well. Yeah. The last couple of games is a bit, and I just wonder if the Hunter Paisami not being there has had a bit of an impact on his game. But, there's him, obviously Quaid. There's still Bernard Foley, who no one talks about. His Kubota Spears are doing really well.
Yeah.
So, mate, lots of...
It's good.
It's really good.
It's good.
Yeah.
One player I wanted to talk about is Corey Toole. I just think
he's a freak, man.
He's been seamless. Like, obviously, it's a different game, 7s and 15s these days. It's completely different. But he's just been outstanding. Like, his skill set at top-end speed and his toughness as well, I think he's just been sensational. And the way the game's moving, and Eddie touched on this, during the week, it's, the game's going to that 3-4 phases, and then it's scoring tries. It's no longer. So you need that speed of ball and those outside backs who are quick and nippy to finish.
Yeah, who have got that, that point of difference in acceleration, who can, if he's not breaking the line, he's getting his hands through, he's getting his hips through, just because he's so bloody fast.
Yeah, and not only that, it's also his second effort. Like, he's always up, he gets back up, he hits the ball up.
Obviously fit as hell, hey?
Fit as hell.
Yeah.
So.
I think he's going to be in the squad, and he's something different. We talk about big wingers on the end of the line, Vunivalu, Jordi Pataya. You look at Faingnuku at the Crusaders, like big wingers, and then there's guys like Corey Toole, but you think like Jason Robinson when he was in England, like just guys with serious gas. Who can change games. I reckon he's going to be in the squad.
Exciting,
great pick, Dale.
Really
great
exciting.
pick.
Stuff with like kick chases, things like that, where you wouldn't think either, where he would just get you, go and tackle the guy who's going to get the ball and just get you that advantage and stuff, and put them pressure back on other teams and stuff too. Don't know where I come up with that one.
It was good. Hold on, could you just say that again? I'm taking notes. Could you just say that one?
And Darcy, I know you're excited about this. We have two incredibly special guests with us from this evening from the New South Wales Waratahs Super W side. Fresh off a win on the weekend, we have Maya Stewart and Emily Robinson. Welcome, girls. How are you both?
Hey. Good.
How was training? Was today a big day?
Yeah, Wacky Wednesday. So
Wacky Wednesday. What does that consist of?
Some two-man time. Just full belting each other for 2 hours, but nah, it's all good.
I thought it might have
We
been
made it through, boys.
One-on-one, just stepping comps.
Oh yeah, whack. different whacks. Like.
I like it. So Wacky Wednesdays obviously similar to Test Match Tuesdays.
Yeah, pretty much.
Same sort of vibe.
So Maya, we'll start with you. Obviously, coming back from a fresh Wallaroos debut last year, starting the season extremely well with a victory on the weekend, scoring tries. You seem to be an absolute try-scoring machine. What do we put that down to?
Some bloody good inside centres. No, they do a lot of the work. I'm lucky.
It's exciting for you. And in all seriousness, though, how have you started the season? How's it been down at Waratahs? How's the feeling in and amongst the group?
It's pretty good. I mean, the girls have been slogging it out for a while now. I sort of had a little clean-out surgery and then got back on the paddock just in time. So she had a handy surgery to miss pre-season. Makes you think, hey. Perfectly timed. It's been really good, though.
That's awesome. And Emily, for you, how's the feeling amongst the group? Started the season well.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel really old.
Join the club. It only gets worse. Emily. Don't worry about it.
Everyone just keeps I don't know, reiterating. You've been here for so long. I'm like, oh. No, I die at the commentary. It's like the veteran. I've never been to war. Veteran Emily Robinson. I'm like, oh, kids, I just turned 30 last month. So I'm not that old. But it's really good. I think we just froth it, eh? We love the footy, and all the new young girls that come in just get around it. And I mean, they don't really have a choice, because if they don't get around it, we just pretty much bully them. Yeah.
So. See you later.
They pick up the vibe pretty quickly. Yeah.
That's so good to hear. Em, it's good to hear that you're still enjoying it. You've obviously been there since the start of Super W. I want to talk a bit about, obviously, New South Wales had a stranglehold, winning sort of every competition up until last year when we had the introduction of Fijiana come in. Have they been sort of a breath of fresh air to the competition?
Yeah, I think last year was pretty different. Obviously, the Australian teams were coming out of COVID. etc. And Fiji were based over here and they were full-time. So they had that full-time setup, and obviously that paid dividends for them in the end. But, I mean, for us, like, it was really good having someone new to play against, and I guess that's why we went to New Zealand at the start of the year as well. Just, to be honest, like, just gets a bit repetitive playing the same people. And like I said a few months ago, like, it just kind of circulates competition. It doesn't really drive it. So you just kind of competing against the same people constantly instead of trying to push and push and push. So, I think it was a great introduction having Fiji in the comp. It'll be interesting to see how they go this year. Obviously, a pretty tight game on the weekend. So,
yeah, they're pretty scrappy.
But we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Like, we've got them in 2 weeks, I think. So, we'll building.
Yeah, nice. And I suppose, in terms, just touching on in regards to the grand final and the score and last year, how did that change how you guys went into preseason in regards to the mentality of how preseason was, and what was some of the things that you guys want to focus on this season?
I don't think it really changed much. I mean, you don't win 4 Super Ws in a row by being complacent. So I think that every year we're very driven group, and basically we're just a bunch of psychos, to be honest.
Okay, who's the most craziest? Who's the most craziest in your squad?
And
why is it Sarah Nagama?
No, Grace Hamilton and Horsey are pretty up there. Eh?
Swear. Wow.
Yeah, we're just super competitive, like, at everything. Like, I was like, mate, where are we doing this thing upstairs? I had to be the first one up here.
So you
I'm
two,
like, righto, mate.
you two are the ones.
I don't have the link yet. Slow down.
Wow. You two are the ones that everyone stays away from on Wacky Wednesdays.
On Wacky Wednesdays, probably Adiana Talakai. She's psycho.
We had the worst group. It was like me, Cheech, Brookie, one of our young girls, and then we had Lani. I was like, Piper Duck, and Bronte, one of the new young girls. And it was a 2-man tackle drill, and I was like, where's the pad to land on?
These poor blokes are just getting folded.
I was like,
Don't touch the face.
Yeah, legit.
We're doing drills, and they're like, just run it straight. And Maya's like, but I just run around these people. Why am I running? Must be nice, eh? Must be nice.
Should have just done the old fake shoulder injury. I'll be right for the weekend. I just can't.
Shin splints is easy to go. Especially if you're a veteran like you, Emily. You're the veteran, clearly, and also you have a nickname, the Horse. Where did the Horse come from?
It's a thoroughbred athlete, mate.
I knew it.
Good one.
Of course.
Makes sense. It
Yeah,
makes sense.
hold on. It's a good name.
Yeah.
I was going to ask,
I
who's the biggest pest to tour with, but you're both here, so... No, joking, but who is
It's actually funny. When we went to New Zealand, we had we stayed at this, like, probably like a school camp kind of setup.
Yeah.
And they had, like, there was a few different rooms, and me and Maya walked into our room. We're in a dorm with 8 people. The poor little blokes didn't get to sleep till about 2 a.m. Just crapping.
What were you doing?
Everybody else in rooms of 2 and 3, and we walk in. I was like, nah, what the hell?
Oh, no.
You're
Good for
kidding.
culture. Good for
How was
building.
that experience anyway in New Zealand?
Yeah.
It was pretty unreal. I mean, I obviously didn't get to play, but watching the girls play New Zealand was awesome. I mean, they're so competitive. There's just so much to learn from them, I guess.
Yeah, it was really good. Like, it was kind of like a bit annoying. Like, we chopped and changed our team a lot because it was trial. It would be really interesting to go back now and play our starting 15 or starting 23 against them and see how we go. But it was a really good tour, just again, playing other people and also just like we got a lot of new young'uns, so
Giving them time on the paddock.
yeah, giving them some time on the paddock and, giving them some time off the paddock as well to get around.
Honest
New
feedback.
Zealand?
Honest feedback.
New Zealand?
Who've got the best
yeah.
pies, Australia or New Zealand?
Or I reckon Australia.
Yeah. Or there's this one
controversial
bakery, but
Like, I reckon it's a bit of carry on, to be honest.
yeah,
Like, they've got heaps good other stuff. Like, their chocolate's yum.
yeah, they do have really good chocolate. I don't know why it tastes weird. We just noticed that.
Mate, were you
And they
talking
have
about
this
the?
thing called long white. Don't know
they're
if
the
you've had
best.
them.
Or, and
They are the
have
best.
they have like an insane amount of traffic cones. I don't know what the goal is over there, but like
The traffic's the worst over there, eh?
No, there's just like heaps of orange traffic cones like everywhere. Like they're
Budget
so
cuts,
unnecessary,
they can't
but
afford.
there's
They can't afford the paint.
Oh.
So yeah.
Now
We
that Auntie
cut the
just
government
finished
grant
that
off 10 years ago, and they've just put cones everywhere.
I'll cut the chat about the cone. No.
Not very good hospital service over there
no.
though. G-Fred split her lip in half and needed plastic surgery, and this flog was at the hospital with her for what was it, 20 hours or
It
something.
was dead set 20 hours, and I was the responsible guardian. I was calling the shots.
Oh, look out. Maya,
Now she's got a hair lip.
She actually
That's
can't
good,
pronounce
guys.
the sound F. It's heaps bad.
it says you play for the Nelson Bay Gropers. What color are the Gropers? And did you guys have a chant about the Gropers, or the Gropers is an interesting name.
Guys,
It's upsetting.
Stop
It's
it.
upsetting.
Stop it. They're
settle
they're
down, horse.
blue.
Nay!
Hey, back in your stable.
There it is.
They're blue, black, and white, and
Yes.
I actually grew up watching my dad play for them.
Love
but
it.
heaps funny story on a side note. He actually had a shirt that on the back of it said, "Want to be a groper? Ask me."
Yes.
And I was like, "No, but that's not quite right. Want to be a groper? Ask me." I was like, "Nah."
Makes sense, though.
Yeah. Fun fact: the actual club's 300 k's inland, so it's just mainly
Yeah.
a reference to the pub. Yeah. The Gropers. Sorry, I'm joking.
Right.
What did people say to ask us on the ground?
Yeah, do we get any questions?
We do. I don't know if any of you guys know who Melissa
what did people
Stewart
ask us and why was
_7
it-
is. You don't know
That's
Melissa
my
Stewart?
mom, guys.
Yeah.
Guys, no. You know how you put
P.S.
it
It's a
was like-
classic mum one too. Do they like Subway
what
for
is
lunch?
it?
And then it's like laughing, crying
guys,
emotions. Do you like
What was it?
Subway?
Do you like Subway for lunch?
Do you like Subway for lunch?
Guys,
Is there a story
I'll
behind
tell you
this?
the story. Yeah.
Well, you're gonna have to. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like-
So when I was younger,
Oh,
we'd be like at the shops, and I was like, Dad, like tapping him, like, Dad. He's like, what? I'm like, oh, I really want Subway Eat Fresh. And my dad's like, it's not Subway Eat Fresh, it's just Subway. And I could not stop like saying no, like I want Subway Eat Fresh. Anyway, they took the piss out of me my whole life. The other day, Mum and Dad got Subway, and of course it came through on our family group chat on the text thread. It was like, yes, Subway Eat Fresh again, no shame. Like,
Stewart's a savage.
I'm one of 5 guys, one of 5 children.
Oh.
What's got another
I'm
quick
so
one?
glad my mum doesn't have Instagram.
No,
because
she's
hilarious.
Actually,
She might.
No.
Funny you say that.
Horse's
because,
mum underscore Waratahs.
Guys, who would you rather get tackled by? Who would you rather attempt to tackle? Tongan Thor or Hunter Pasami?
Oof. I'm definitely not tackling Taniela like at all.
Keep in mind he's in a moon boot at the moment. So
Okay, maybe. What about you, Lenny?
Oh, well, I was going to say something. Neither of them.
Neither of them.
oh, there we go. It's pretty simple.
Top
Good
3
answers.
favourite Reds girls, and do not mention Annabelle Cody.
That was actually sent in by Annabelle Cody. Top 3 Reds girls.
None of them.
Boom! There we go.
That was brilliant.
That's perfect.
Nah, Ellie Draper's pretty funny.
Kramer,
Kramer-
because she's a tar.
Kramer Dragon and
Cheetah, because it's her birthday and she's
There
the
we
queen of
go.
Lebanon.
But on a side note, Annabelle is
Actually,
up
but
there.
real talk, Hannah Naha. She's my favourite.
She
Red.
was funny. She was
An
so
OG.
funny.
Yeah, that's showing my veteran age there.
There it is, the veteran.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Back in the 70s with the leather ball.
Girls, this has been absolutely brilliant. We thank you for your time. You guys have been terrific. All the best for this weekend. And hopefully we'll have some more of you on in later in the series as well. Thanks so much.
Yeah, the others aren't. the others aren't heaps funny, so.
Let's keep
Sorry we
asking
were
those.
late, lads. Yeah, sorry we were late. Campbell was
Campbell,
putting
yeah.
the nail through it.
No, good.
Yeah. No, thanks for having us, and you guys are killing it. Thanks for supporting women's footy. I love
Yeah,
it.
girls.
All right. Thanks, girls. Appreciate
Thanks,
you.
girls.
That was
Little round of
unbelievable.
applause.
Yeah, that was
Yes.
Round of applause.
We're so fun.
Obviously, they were incredible, but Darcy Bowden, mate, fantastic.
With what?
Everything.
Oh,
You were
sweet.
terrific.
It's in general. Okay, all right. General kudos.
Well deserved.
You've been working hard, I can tell. It's good to see.
I've been working hard. I haven't been hard at work. I've got plenty
Been
of time.
working
on my
hard
hands.
at this.
Yeah.
Which brings me to my next point, the Battlers bench.
Oh,
and
God.
what,
Come on now.
What a week we've had for the Battlers bench.
It's been a week, Dal.
Yep.
Thanks for that, Ryan. It's been a week, hasn't it? We actually,
Been busy.
Has been busy.
Tino and I actually got invited down to go to North to their season launch, and this is the video we made. This is Big Fat Darts with the Battlers bench from the PAC Rugby show. We're down here at North, the season launch 2023. Let's see what it's all about. Let's go. Here we go. Mate, season launch, right? Look at that.
I mean, you can't fault
It's happening in about 3 minutes.
Big note of the nest, mate.
That's it.
Just building that camaraderie. Like, we've got a really good squad this year, I reckon, and we've had a really good pre-season. Got a couple of boys from different countries, different places before, and we're starting to get a good connection together.
Yeah, 100%. You know, the boys are. Last year we struggled playing for 80 minutes, but throughout pre-season and the trials, we've showed that we can play for 80 minutes.
Mate, finals is the goal. Continuity of care. That's what I'm all about.
Look down the barrel.
Finals is the goal, baby.
That's it.
Winning. We're going to win. But I think, but for real, just like us growing as a team and closer together and, yeah, winning. Definitely winning.
Starts tomorrow?
Of course.
Yeah. I'm fired up too, mate. Loving it. This year.
This year, well, I'm hoping that we can make a change from last year. Even go up and have the opportunity to play in the finals and maybe even take the cup. And also just, yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, just have a bit of a change, step up, and just do better.
I think just the growth. Like pre-season's been really long, but it's been really good. And I think teams are going to be quite surprised when they come up against us and the style we play and the style that we want to play, sort of heading into future years.
Club established.
Not too sure.
Is it on the back of your shirt? No, it's not on the back of your shirt, this one.
71, I think.
71, that'll do.
Oh, 1928.
Ah, bang on.
I don't even know. Wait. I'm actually... I don't even know.
I don't even know.
Question. That's a good
It's on the
question.
back of everyone's polo shirt. 1928, say 1928.
Oh, 1928.
Oi, got it.
Got me there, man.
Turn around.
That one,
Not-
28.
Oh, he got it.
1928, mate.
Jeez, he didn't even have to look at his pants. That's a good one. Rudest haircut in your squad?
Oh, probably Sifa. Oh, man. I got it. Bro, that's bad. And his new barber.
New barber? Mate,
T. Sometimes I'm like, ooh, fresh. Sometimes I'm like, that's playing up, bro.
that question down.
I think I already won, yeah.
Turn around, give it a bit of a fucking... Ah! Okay. Apart from you, who would be the next rudest hair?
Oh, he's standing right there, but he hasn't had a little chop, so it looks a bit rough.
We'll get him.
But a bit longer.
There you go. That was a bit of content down at North.
I had the weekend off.
Ryan sends his condolences, obviously. We also, while we were there, we just thought we'll play this clip, but this one's about we're walking. Tino and I were just having a casual chat. I was walking to the bar, and the gentle aroma of burgers started coming over, and we thought we'd give the Northies burger a bit of a try.
Fat Darcy here for the first ever Battlers Bench Burger Review. Down here at North Rugby Club, ordered the Northies burger, which is a beef and bacon burger.
So hungry.
Look at that.
Oh, it looks
Holy,
great.
that actually looks nice.
Is that a brioche bun?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
milk?
That's what
To be
Tino
fair,
asked.
Wow. It is
They
good.
even toasted
They
the top
did
of the
forget
bun.
that.
Good burgers,
We'll
mate.
talk
See that?
about later.
This is good.
Don't eat it upside down, Darcy.
Are you that
beef
guy that
bacon
eats it
burger?
upside down?
I ordered it with bacon, and I said it didn't come with it. It says
There we go. All right.
beef bacon
I
burger.
stand corrected. Thanks. Enjoy. I will, mate. Good handhold, Tino. Look at that. Wait, get that in you. I think it's a brioche. It feels
I don't actually know
brioche-y,
what
Tino.
do we? It's a yellowy kind of a bun.
Yeah.
Ready in 2 minutes, might I add. Right? Just over there. They have the plastic tables. I love it. They go burger. They take your ticket. She walks over. I don't know what's happening. She comes back with this. This is actually... Wow. It's not going to be hard to beat, Tino. I reckon they got some form of Big Mac sauce. They must have put the cheese on the patty, let it melt. The brioche. This will be hard to beat. I reckon, let's call this one a 4-2, Tino. Out of 5.
Out of 5. I was going to say.
Tino, look at me going.
Out of 10.
Out of 5. Out of 5. Shit out.
Northern
Yeah.
Burger. North Rugby Club. 4-2.
So that brings us to Ryan. I'm going to ask your opinion here because you probably eat 1, maybe 2 burgers ever in your life. Apart from, where should we go to after North? What do you reckon? Where do you reckon you've had the best burgers?
Jeeps has got a decent one. That's a bit biased, though.
No.
Hear me out.
Shut up.
East is good.
Okay.
But if you want to go for a bit of a drive,
Jeeps.
Noosa Dolphins.
Oh,
Noosa Dolphins. Yep, and it's a rival club.
What do you think
the only
is special about that one?
I just grew up with it. And
So biased again.
Hey?
So it's biased opinion again.
No, I'm a Swanee, mate. I'm Richie Swanee.
Oh.
Noosa's like
So it's controversial.
Yeah, very
opinion.
controversial. But good burgers out in Noosa, mate.
They
Not
did
sure
mention
they've
that the Tiger Burger has been thrown around. Dos.
Yeah, I mean it's
simple. Is it?
It is. It's simple and it's known for the quality its quality.
Okay.
Lots of people talk about it. It's very much a draw card in terms of getting people down to David Wilson.
But
on
you got to eat it at East. So that's a problem. That's problematic.
Why?
It explodes if you walk
Takeaway.
out
We do
outside the
takeaways, right?
But why is it a problem eating it at East?
I'm sure I'll figure it out. I'm sure I'll be able to. What about the Brothers Burger? They got a quiche or what do they got down the Brothers?
It's Wagyu ribeye.
Of course,
caramelized.
Yep.
Sprinkle with some nepotism.
180 day aged. It's beautiful, mate.
All right, we got some hot leads there. I think, friends.
We're certainly not going to West, that's for sure. The old UNICEF burger they've got there.
$19 Bulldogs burger, but anyway.
Respectfully.
I also, if you noticed before on the clip earlier when Gus Gould was crying about Suali'i and stuff like that, on their panel of people, they had Anthony Seibold up there, and he was actually he was the voice of reason for rugby union. He was actually saying, well, rugby's a very it's a complex game. He was weird.
He talks to Eddie a lot, doesn't he?
He does.
He coached with Eddie,
and he did, so 2 hours later, after the interview, he was actually that night. I think it was a little bit later that night. He was past it. Where was it?
McDonald's.
Was it McDonald's? I thought it was. Was it McDonald's? I thought it was. Was it not Hungry Jack's? Is that him there? Just tucked in the corner, or was it? Was it KFC? There he is. You notice that he didn't park in the handicap zone, so he was all together there.
He's respectful.
He is respectful, but he was actually there. He knows a lot about the Suali'i thing because he was actually there during contract negotiations. And then,
how do you think of this shit?
I don't know, man. I had a big smoko, and then what else did I put down there? Chuck it on now. I can remember. I actually went down to. Oh yeah, no. So he was coaching in England. There he is talking to the boys. I think they're about to wake him up. And then it was good to see him down there on Saturday, supporting club rugby. He's down there on the sideline. So Seibold, he does know union. He's all about the game. So it was good that he was on that panel. I just clipped that image and just put it on whatever. I was Googling. That one, to be honest.
Shit, I thought he was
ran
actually
out of
there.
puff on that one.
I think that's your best one.
That's the best one?
It's the most realistic.
No. Yeah, actually, yeah, you're right. You're right. Thanks for that. Battlers bench. That's it.
Fantastic, lads. Well done. Terrific week. Great work, Das. This leads us into our...
Ryan. And Ryan.
He's here.
Well, let's be honest.
He's Darren's, mate. He's Darren's.
Leads us into our tipping from last week and leading into this week.
That was bad last week.
Was it good?
I don't even remember.
I think it was
I think we
pretty
won again.
good. Yeah, I think
Yeah, we did it.
Yeah, we
Battlers
won.
might have
We won
won.
again.
Bloody hell.
Knocked us off again. Dos was struggling.
Yeah, we are, aren't
Joey's going to be a big input this week.
Hopefully, because you guys suck. Respectfully.
Respectfully.
We do. So leading into this week, we got the starters versus battlers again. You can bring it up on the screen. Yeah.
Battlers.
Look at us.
We both agree, right? Yeah, mate. It's all pretty self-explanatory.
So
what do you
Moana
wanna
versus
talk about?
Highlanders. You guys have gone the Highlanders.
Yeah, we've gone the Highlanders. I think.
I think we're going safer now. I think we've dabbled with the devil and
Are we starting to see a bit of a separation in the competition though? Is it getting a lot easier to pick?
between us.
Yeah.
No, I
Yeah,
mean
it's a
just
bit
the
of a
general
between us.
Super Rugby.
I think so. I think these last couple of weeks we've really those are the ones you go, oh, that might get it, and it's just all that kind of little. Apart from the Reds losing last week, you know.
Reds versus Crusaders.
Yeah, Crusaders, mate. Easy.
Nice and easy.
Unfortunately, respectfully.
Drua versus Rebels. You've gone the Drua.
Yeah, we're going just controversial.
Undefeated at home.
Oh, it's at home?
Yeah, it's in Suva.
Oh, that's why, because he actually said, let's go Rebels. And I was like,
I've got to read.
you do whatever you want to do, and then we obviously didn't change it. And he now agrees.
And they've had an average couple of weeks. You think they're getting home, they're back feet on the ground, ready to...
Yeah, a
ready
couple
to
of the boys couldn't make the tour. They just had a couple of things on.
They're still playing at Jeeps.
Yeah.
What happened?
They've spent the first part of the week at bloody Seventh Heaven,
mate,
over in
That's
Fiji.
Oh, is that
That's that club.
Cloud 9.
Cloud 9.
Cloud
Yeah,
Nine.
Cloud
Nine.
9. Yeah.
Have they?
Yeah.
How good.
So that, mate, they'll be refreshed.
Refreshed.
Yeah, rejuvenated.
Are they really good or really bad?
Yeah, exactly. Could go either way.
Reports there was lots of cover there. So.
Chiefs versus Blues.
Chiefs, mate, they're just run red hot at the moment.
Unstoppable.
Red hot, unstoppable.
Undefeated. Brumbies versus Waratahs. This is an interesting one.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I'm a bit disappointed. I love the Waratahs this year, and I'm feel for them. I saw a stat today. They were matching Brumbies versus Waratahs stats. Waratahs have got actually some better stats.
Didn't want to give
They
Zach
do.
that stat
And,
or just talk about it?
I
Or?
did.
Zachy, put up the stat.
Yeah. No. But anyway, long story short, Waratahs, it would be good to see him, but I just think the Brumbies are too good at the moment.
Yeah.
And then Hurricanes versus Force.
Yeah, poor Force.
Yeah, poor Force.
Respectfully.
Respectfully.
Yeah.
All right, Dos, your tips.
I think I'm going to have to agree with most of what. Are the tips outright, winning outright, or do we have a line?
We've just gone outright this week.
We've gone outright. And you've gone the Reds to beat the Crusaders.
Yeah.
Man, see, this is when your bias just gets in the way of good decision making.
The boys are due.
Yeah, but just not this week, I don't think.
Disagreement on the starters.
Yeah, but I'm happy to back him. He's our skipper. Highlanders, Drua. I like the Blues.
Yeah.
There's troubles over there, boys.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a discussion about the Brumbies-Waratahs game.
Interesting. I just feel like the Waratahs have got
They're due.
a lot to play for. I feel like they've had a rough couple of weeks. They were actually really good last week with a secondary side against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And I thought they fought really well. They get a few key guys back this week.
I think
Dale's not sold.
Dos
Dos not sold.
Nah, they're not. Well, the Brumbies were, mate. They were really competitive against the Crusaders.
know.
There's that little turn before half time, like it could have been 14-10 easily. You know, little swing of play, and it's 21-3 at half time. And I think Bernie there. I know my 2 seasons down there. Anytime the Waratahs came into town, like it was bigger than Ben-Hur. He'll get the guys up, and it's yeah. I don't think we lost. We played them twice at home when I was there and beat them both times fairly comfortably. So we'll have a discussion around that one. And then Hurricanes to beat
one.
the Force. Pretty simple. What about you, Joey?
With all of the games?
Well,
Or-
just you agree with most of
Yeah.
them.
Especially that
Anyone
Waratahs
you
Brumbies
change?
game, the disagreement game.
No, I reckon I'm going to have to... I'll tip the Brumbies on that one. I think just they're a
it
consistent
down.
one.
Let's move the icon.
off the island, mate.
Let's move the icon, please, Zachy. Can we move Dale's luscious head of locks?
Yeah.
I didn't even recognise him.
Yeah. Friends was like, who's that? That's that guy. How old were you, do you reckon, when that photo was taken?
That was 2012, hey?
Yeah, 2012.
Oh,
Mate, this
tough
is...
year.
This was...
Looking at it. Oh, not your year.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah. Nah, but as much as I do love the Tars, I reckon just the Brumbies at home. It's going to be a big game for them, and I reckon they will stand up for it. So yeah.
Leads us into a little bit of QPR. All right, for this coming weekend, we've got Sunnybank versus Brothers. Friends, former Brothers man yourself. What's your thoughts?
Brothers. Sorry. Sunnybank were very well on the very good on the weekend. I thought the pressure was on at East. They weren't. It wasn't just an easy beat, which is good to see.
Too many Tigers burgers for the Dragons, I think. Pre-game.
And Bond University, they were exceptional on the weekend against your Tigers.
I know, man, and it's down at Bond.
They're going to win the comp.
I'll take my Tigers glasses off, and as much as my son will hate me for going against them, I got to tip the Bull Sharks. They look bloody good.
They do look good. They look like they're playing a better standard of footy. Not standard, sorry. They're more of a complete standard of footy. They're not just relying on their backs to do something freaky. They work together really well. They goal kick exceptionally well. Hamish Roberts is a big inclusion. Set piece.
So good.
Yeah. And Joey, for you, Norse, hosting the Doggies.
Yeah, look, this weekend's going to be a big weekend, especially with the announcement of the Rob Gregg Memorial, and I think that both teams are going to stand up for it. Wests have a couple of good players coming back, and especially on Monday and Tuesday, we went to the drawing board with a lot of the lads and had a big heart-to-heart in regards to setting down the foundation.
Sorry, what?
No, so the boys that couldn't get into Fiji.
It was a secret meeting. Secret meeting.
No, just had a real good heart-to-heart in regards to the foundation, in regards to the year that they want to set.
You guys played like cack on the weekend, man. That's what he would have said.
Bro, that's what it sounded like too. I swear it. Nah. But yeah, I'm gonna have to say West this weekend. So yeah.
Up the Eagles.
And finally, South Junior, obviously Darcy taking on UQ.
Kenmore. Mighty Kenmore Bears down at Akuna.
Right. Sorry, I got that wrong.
80% sure.
South versus UQ. South were good.
Being a South junior. South's good. But UQ better.
Yeah, UQ.
Interesting. Yeah. They were good on the weekend, UQ. They bounced back against Jeeps really well. And it's just that back row.
Yep.
Connor Mitchell, Paddy Murray.
They
just front up every week.
We started well and then just let it slip away.
Who's we? Brothers? Stingrays?
Sunshine Coast? The Swans?
Swans?
Whatever, man.
Obviously it's the Swans because he didn't like that one. Anyway.
We went through the Super W last week. We had a few hot shots there, but Reds host the Force. Friends, you've obviously got a fair few friends in and amongst that Queensland Reds women's tide. Who do you think's going to win there?
You're funny, but
what does that mean, Dal?
Yeah, elaborate.
What does that mean?
Sorry?
No, they should. It'll be a good game. I didn't actually watch the Force on the weekend, but Queensland should put them away. They've got the recruits are here from New Zealand, so they're on the bench just waiting to come on. I just think they'll be too strong, especially from when they get subbed. They're just too much depth.
And Dossie, your Fijiana taking on the Rebels at home.
Yeah, I think
they're average in week one, but
they were scrappy. We'll put it down to first week, just getting back into the swing of things. Obviously, the defending champions, and it's hard to go past them. Fijiana.
And Joey, the Brumbies hosting the New South Wales Waratahs.
I'm going to go with the Waratahs on this one. I think they played a great brand of footy on the weekend. Yeah, brand. I thought I had a moment, like a fresh moment. So I thought I was like, is that the right word? I had to say it over my head. Yeah, but I think they played a great brand of footy on the weekend. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
All right, and Darcy, Doss has asked me to race through this, as quick as possible. All right, because I want you to be rapid fire. Harbour versus Two Blues, shoot shield. Round 1, week 1. Who wins?
Well, being a Souths junior.
Quick, mate.
Sorry. Two Blues.
All right, Souths versus Gordon. Gordon just lost their head coach.
Oh, why'd you drop that in?
Still
Gordon!
Eastern Suburbs versus Eastwood.
Ooh. Eastern Suburbs.
Ooh, interesting. Sydney Uni versus North. This is a big one.
Up the Northies.
Sydney Uni.
Sydney Uni.
Yeah.
Wildfires versus Manly. The ever-improving Hunter Wildfires taking on
Well, I'm actually from Manly
Still
now.
Still needs some proving.
Manly.
Yeah, Manly.
And then finally, this is huge. Warringah versus
Love it.
Randwick.
Come on now.
Round one, week one.
Up the Wicks.
Up the Wicks.
Up the Wicks.
Up the Wicks.
Wonderful. Steve Hoyle's new coach there. It's exciting
Bet the
times
house,
at
boys.
Randwick. Bet the house. Perfect. Well done, Das. That was excellent.
It was on brand.
Hey, look, English is my second language. Okay? Like, just leave me alone, man.
All right, and finally brings us to our 2023 Rugbays of the week.
Come on.
Okay, from the weekend. Dos Valini Ekwasi. Talk to me about this, man.
Mate, never heard of him. I thought when I saw his name, Richard Hardwick out, Violini's in. But, oh, my word, what impact. Like, this is the balance of the Rebels back row. I love it at the moment with him there. You saw his run there, mate. His try was unreal. And speaking of the couple of boys down there, he's got a really, like, he's quite fit. He's got a big engine.
Yeah.
You know, he's only young. I think he's only going to grow as the season goes on. Heard his interview after. It seems like he's got a pretty good head on his shoulders. And I think this might be his try here. And yeah, and mate, he was outstanding. He really set the platform for the Reds, and man, I mean, for the Rebels, sorry. And I'm looking forward to seeing him grow the rest of the season. So I don't know anything about him. I mean, he was my rugby, and I'd never heard about him. But like, what's his story? Does anyone know?
He's come across from the Blues, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's coming to West, so...
Is he?
Nah, I don't know.
Probably. Like, does he have any Aussie heritage, or is he just here? Will he have to qualify?
I don't
think
know.
he's Tino's cousin, actually. Just kidding, mate.
I'm not sure. Dos will do a bit of...
it doesn't matter, but he was outstanding.
He was outstanding. And I think what they've got is they've got so many running threats.
Oh, yes.
They were brutal.
And that's it. Like,
Whether it's a back row,
it
locks,
was-
or centres.
It was just consistent.
Ioane.
Yeah. And I think, you know, like the Reds should have won. On paper, they should have won, but it was relentless. The power just coming through early in the game, like Trevor Hosea coming through, David, what's his name? Started at inside centre. No, started inside centre for the Rebels.
Lenny.
He was the one at Sunnybank last year.
Oh,
the 13.
Man, and even like on debut, sat Joshy Fluke down, who is like a terrific defender. I mean, the foundation's good there for the Rebels. I think they'll upset a couple of teams this year.
100%, mate. They're going to be one of the better Aussie teams, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And friends, Alana Elysia for you.
Elysia. Yeah, she's. I'm not sure where she was last year, but she was a former Wallaroo. Came on in the last 20 minutes for the Reds at halfback. You can literally put her on from 9 to 15, and she's just a good defender. Look at this, like just good vision, good rugby head, and powerful for not a really big girl. But yeah, she'll in my opinion have a starting position. She's on the bench again this week, but I reckon she'll have a starting position come next week. Next week she's starting.
Yeah, right. Bit of spark off the bench. She's earning her stripes, and you reckon next couple of weeks she'll be in that number 9 jersey.
Oh, well, yeah, you can literally put her anywhere. So, yeah, I reckon.
Yeah.
15, I reckon.
Yeah,
she's just a really good defender as well.
Yeah, she was playing at West last year, and she actually won the Selena Worsley medal. She was actually best and fairest. Yeah, so she's a gun. She's got a hectic engine. She just keeps on going. So
it's tough, very tough.
Very tough.
And Das, Lavinia Tinai for you.
Yep.
She was exceptional.
She was fullback for the Drua. She this game was played in Fiji, and this marks the first time any Brumby team, male or female, have ever played in Fiji. 8 debutantes for the Drua, and it was what was the score? 16-14 or something, 14-12, and it was she held this back line together. The way these two teams were just bashing each other in these hot, humid conditions.
It looks so humid.
And I just think her on the back of that back line, she takes a more direct kind of a line, good offloads. I think with those eight debutantes, the Drua are just going to grow into it more and more. Even though they lost 6, 7, 8 people, they're back again. As you said, why is he laughing? Why is he laughing? What are you doing, friends?
I'm not sure because I was enjoying that.
I was
like, I was just because I was so excited.
Hold on, I don't know where she's from. I don't know what she's played. Anywhere. Did she play prop? Oh, I don't know.
Sorry, mate.
No, don't worry about it, mate.
I've got the giggles.
Yeah. Whatever. You go, Dal. You're doing a really good job, by the way, Dal. We don't miss J-Ball.
Joey, you mentioned him earlier. He's
Yeah.
in some scintillating form.
Yeah.
Carter Gordon,
Yeah.
man of the moment.
Yeah, when you guys talked about 10s at the start of the year, I thought, I'd definitely throw this guy in the mix. Like we talked about, his kicking game has been phenomenal. Like, man, he launched onto that one. But even like I said before, his short kicking game as well, like knowing the different types of, what in terms of field, like territory where we are, like, how to get out of it or how to create options for your wingers, and just the way that he controlled the boys around the park. Like, I thought that was phenomenal. Like, he stood up and, just basically... looked like he had a lot of time, especially there, like taking the ball to the line and then having a silky offload.
Bernie Larkham,
just
like
like that. He's just one of those type of people. And like you said too before, like being able to be that type of 10 that just throws his body on the line and just throws it at like just whoever's running at him. Like, he's got no fear. He's a crazy kid and he's got a sexy mullet.
I reckon with you've been a big advocate on it, Dossie. Just having a 10 that they're patient with, and giving him time. And last year we were banging on about Carter, but he just wasn't, he'd have one game and they'd bench him or whatever. But this year they've stuck with him and he's just starting to carve.
Yeah, I like that. I like Kevin Foote, but I tell you, Timmy Sampson, who's gone down looking after the Rebels attack, is going to be tremendous for Carter's growth.
Yeah, definitely.
Man, the detail that he brings around the game, the way he sees it, he will already know Carter's his limit, his ceiling, and he will do everything in his powers for him to get there as quick as he can. He'll give him so much confidence to go out every week and just do what he does. And I think he's been a crucial piece in Carter's development, and he started the year well, and I think he'll only get better.
But you even look at it, like, he's been in the Rebel system for quite some time now, and like, he's come from Wests playing Colts as well as going through the Premier Grade system, but then going down there and biding his time behind Matt Tamora and a couple of great 10s that have already been there. Like, you can just see him start to flourish as a 10 now. So he's gonna kill it.
Absolutely, and I think one thing that's showing in his game is, as a 10, you want to kind of feel like the team is yours. And it's yours to direct around the park, and you have the ability to tell people what to do, and you can tell that he's got that. They've backed him from the top. The players have backed him, and now he just feels so comfortable in that role. He's just pushing people around the park.
It's funny you talk, because I feel like, another really good, promising young 10, who probably hasn't gone as accelerated as quick as we thought he would, is young Noah down at the Brumbies. And I think he's the perfect example. You talk about young 10s just grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck when it's necessary, and good young 10s do, or good 10s do it, and they can really stamp their authority on the game. I failed to pinpoint a game over the last 2 years where Noah's done that as the playmaker for the Brumbies. He's got good skills. He's a great goal kicker, and he's obviously a fantastically talented player. But, he just doesn't have that authority on the field that I think Carter demands.
But do you think that comes back to as well, like throwing him in the deep end too early and then having this high expectation in regards to Australian rugby? Like, we throw all these players in the deep end so quick that they don't necessarily begin to find their identity on the park and find their authority, like we talk about with Carter, because Carter's been there for quite some time, and that's why we're like, he's starting to click now. But it's like, it's always been there, but he's just had time to work and perfect his craft.
When you're talking about throwing them in too early there, what I think you're trying to say is that base that Carter has of playing Colts and then playing grades and then playing that men's footy. And now he's at a level now where he feels comfortable in that space, which I think you're 100% correct. You see a lot of them who are going to go straight from school into that, system straight away and start playing Super Rugby early, unless you're an absolute, Quade Cooper type player.
100%.
They struggle, right? Because they don't have the ability to continue to make their mistakes at that lower level. Do you know what I mean? In that Premier Grade space and Colt. So I think you're right, Joey.
And it's also the relationships you build with the players. Like, Noah's 19, 20, probably hasn't built the connections with his wider team, and, doesn't feel comfortable telling guys like James Slipper, the older guys in the team, man, you got to be here, you got to be here. Whereas, you said it so well, like Quade and Will from the day they walked into Ballymore.
Mate, freaks, man.
Kenya.
And the older guys hated them, but they didn't care.
Yeah.
It was like, man, this is our team. Get on board.
Yeah.
Is that why you moved down the Brumbies?
That's exactly right.
Oh, is that it, is it?
Oh.
See you guys. I'm out of here.
It's like that, huh?
It's like that.
Yeah, I probably should have gone a lot earlier.
All right, my rugby for the week was Hamish Roberts from Bond University. 12 points to the game, 4 carries, 1 defender beaten. But what he brings to this side is this right here. Exceptional off the boot. He brings a real stability to the side. Last year they missed out on 1 or 2 points about 5 or 6 times throughout the season, which cost them in the end. But he was just scintillating. You know what I mean? He was everywhere all around the park. But his goal kicking was just that scoreboard pressure just kept it ticking over. He was everywhere across the board. I really like him, and I think he's someone who potentially, the more he plays, might have that ability to go to that next level.
I agree, man, and he's really quick as well.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. He's got that point of difference. Obviously not the biggest guy, but we talked about it before. He's got that speed as his point of difference, and his goal kicking. And I was really impressed with him his few games that he had last year, and I'm really excited to see how he develops into this season.
Yeah, I was like when you sent yours through, I hadn't watched the highlights yet. Who's he talking about? And anyway, I was watching the highlights, and then all of a sudden I just seeing him after I think his second goal kick, I was like, he's awesome. He was everywhere, man. He's so quick too, and he's a smart little player.
Well, lads, it's been an absolute terrific show. Joey, we hope we can see a lot more of you.
Come on,
It'd be nice to have you in.
Agree.
Good to be here.
Yeah. Dos, last one live for a while.
Yeah, thank
Obviously
you.
heading back to PNG. All the best with that and the new
appreciate
baby.
it.
Absolutely outstanding. So
Thank
congrats
you,
again.
Darryl.
Ox corned beef representative.
Always.
Represent us if you can.
Pleasure as always, mate. You've been outstanding, terrific. And Darcy, look, mate, you were best on ground today.
Phenomenal.
I really appreciate you.
Agreed.
Can we get a round of
Terrific
applause
job.
for Dal
Yeah,
too, mate?
absolutely.
He's fucking.
Is this piece of the way you say respectfully, but then you disrespect me, right? Nah, we'll talk about this later.
See what I did there?
Anyway, everyone, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to our new YouTube show, the PAC Rugby Show, and on our Instagram handle as well. Thanks for tuning in once again, and we'll see you all next week.
Love you.